Apparently, there's a pandemic of sorts going around now. I know, I'm just as shocked as you are, since like the vast majority of people out there, this will be news to you. So yeah, it's called Crown of Vid the Seventh or something, and its origin remains a huge mystery, but is speculated to be originated from a children's beverage company with a similar name. But at this stage, it isn't urgent to worry about where the corn vid came from, but how do we as human beings survive and get through this blight? After doing a little bit of research, I found that the answer to everything about the pandemic was easily answered. For starters, the person who invented Crollo was a king. That's why when he made it, he put a crown on each piece he made. Seeing as to how this king would have been the quote unquote father of the little bastards, his lifestyle was imprinted onto them. That being said, as we all know, while kings can do pretty much whatever they want to do, they can only do so one space at a time. But why is that? After looking up the various histories of kings and queens, I found that it is because kings and queens were invented and named after pieces from a foreign board game called chess. I did some quick skimming on the game and now know more or less the basics and how to play and what the objective is. You see, there's a lot to the game and many pieces in the game. There are pawns, rooks, push-ups, and even has horse riding mini-games. But I found that of the pieces, the queen was the most powerful. That was a shock, seeing as to how women are inferior. So it makes sense that once the enemy queen is murdered, defeating an enemy becomes much easier. Not only that, but since the queen is the only female piece on the board, if she dies, then the rest of the kingdom will too, as they have no means to reproduce. For simplicity's sake, we'll call the player with their queen player 1, and the player whose queen died player B. The only way around losing the game that way would be for player 2 to arrange a political marriage with player A, in which player A's queen would be used by player 2 in order to reproduce. But in exchange, player 2 must surrender all to player A. Usually this would end the game, declaring player Alpha the winner, but some data miners found in game code that there was a tech to it, which was to get player Juan's queen to actually fall in love with player Beta's horse and have her ride outside the map, ripping them apart at a molecular level, effectively eliminating both pieces and ending the game in a draw. Many in the scientific community have stated that this finding could be used to end all wars and conflict in the world, but just as the scientists were about to complete the procedure, a bat swooped in and stole player B's king, putting the world-changing game into a constant, never-ending game of stalemate. The bat fell into some boiling water while holding the king piece, where the heat and pressure fused the two together, the bat now only to move one space at a time. So, all in all, just make sure that if you are around someone who has the coronavirus, just make sure that you're at least one space away and you'll be fine.